Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. I know it seems to be a little early for me to do a live stream, so I woke up about 7 in the morning. I had to use the bathroom, and then I still had to use the bathroom again. So I was like, man, I cannot go back to sleep. By the time I finally did get around to it again, I was like wide awake. So I was like, you know what? I'll just stay up. Like, why not? Oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day, everyone, if nobody has told you yet. So, yeah, you saw in the title, it says I will be leaving for Central Florida in exactly a week. As I was saying last week, I was going to be doing a lot more live streams now that I have all this free time. I mean, yeah, the free time is getting ready to come to an end as the ARC will soon be going back to its spring hours. Wednesday, March 9th, 2022 will be open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and then 1 to 7 p.m. on Sunday, which means that I'll be working 5 to 6 days a week again. The other side of the coin is that I'll be finishing up with college by that point. So my plan is to at least try to work 5 days a week for at least the first couple of weeks, and then I'll at least be willing to increase my hours from there, at least by the beginning of April, because that's when I will be officially done with college, or at least at the very tail end of March. Like literally a month before my mom's birthday, March 28th, I'm going to increase my work hours to 6 days a week. Maybe not every week, but maybe every other week or something like that. Depends on how much I'm needed. I'm sure that they'll need me. You know, this is the ARC for crying out loud. I was working a ton last year, and I'll be done with my associate's degree, Lord willing, by that point. But anyway, yes, I will be going to Central Florida in exactly a week. I may not necessarily be, um, how should I put this? Taking a break from college per se, but I will be taking a break from work. I mean, yeah, I've been getting good breaks from work every single week. So, as I might have mentioned before, the ARC is closed Sunday through Tuesday every single week, which means we're only open Wednesday through Saturday. So, out of the 7 days, we're only open 4 days versus our normal seven. And then we're closed 3 of those days of the week, which is kind of nice. And I mean, considering it's for like 2 whole months of the year, that's not bad at all. 10 whole weeks to be exact. You can count them out. December 31st through March 8th, at least for this year, and it might change again by next year, but we'll see. It depends on what day of the week. The second Wednesday of March falls on. That's honestly the best way to go about it. So not as bad as I expected. At least I know how they do it now. And it might seem like I'm gone for a long time. Monday, February 21st through March 1st might seem like an incredibly long time, but if you think about it, I'm actually not gone that long as far as my work situation. So last year I was working at Meyer. Yes, last year I probably was gone for quite a while. The year before that, when I was working at Meyer, yes, I was probably gone for a while. But now that I'm at the ARC, it's a completely different situation. So I leave on Monday. That's a day we're closed. Tuesday, that's a day we're closed. And every now and then they do ask some of the people in culinary to come and do projects around the ARC, make sure it looks all pretty and nice and clean for the guests on Wednesday. And I got to do it one time. It was kind of fun. I got to help rearrange a couple of pods. It was a little cold outside, but it's not like I spent the entire time outside. And they took good care of us. And I got to come out inside and warm up quite often. I had a hot cup of coffee at one point. It was a good day. I'm not saying too much because I don't want to say too much information about how they take care of the employees, but all I'm going to say is they do take good care of the employees, and hard to believe I've already been almost there a year. I'm like, wow, has it really been that long? The only days of work I'm actually officially missing in period that week are Wednesday, February the 23rd through Saturday, February 27th. That's it. And yeah, it's supposed to be a little busy that week. I was able to look and see what the projection was going to be for that week. And yeah, it's going to be a little busy. So that's next week, by the way. So yes, next Wednesday through Saturday is supposed to be a tad bit busy, but it sounds like that they'll manage just fine without me. And I mean, it's not like spring by any means when it's like that every single day. And then it's a little harder for them to go, I don't know if we can afford to lose you. But it's still the winter, so they should be fine. And we're still closing at 5 o'clock Wednesday through Friday. And then Saturday is the one day of the week that it's a little harder to lose people on, but it's only for the one Saturday. I admit I did take the following Saturday off, which is weird because I'm going to be here in the area. But they said yes to it all like months ago. That's when Winter Jam's going to be going on in Northern Kentucky. But I will be back at work by Wednesday, March 2nd. So I'm literally taking my vacation all of next week, when pretty much part of the week when the Ark is closed, and then into the following week when the Ark is still closed. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be the 4 days that I am taking paid vacation for are the days that the Ark is open. That's the only days I actually asked for paid vacation. It was actually really easy to ask for paid vacation this year, because it's like, well, the Ark is only open for 4 days, and it's typically all I work anyway is 4 days of the 7 that were open, and I don't get paid those 3 days, so just take the 4 days as paid vacation, and I'll just pretend that I work those days. I guess is a good way to look at it. And then actually I said 27th, sorry, I meant the 26th. The 26th is a Saturday. And then the 27th and the 28th and then the 1st are all like the last days of my vacation. So those are all days, of course, that the Ark is closed. And then I literally fly back in on March the 1st late at night, and then I turn around and go back to work the next day. Yeah, so I'm going to feel like I'm dead the next day, but hey, we're closed at 5, so it's all good. As long as I get all my homework done, then that's all that matters. That's how I see it. So I can go to bed, and as soon as my head hits that pillow, I can at least rest assured knowing that I got everything done, and that's a good way to look at it. The one thing I was very disappointed about this year was I normally have my taxes done by this point. If you guys don't know this about me yet, I typically get my taxes done before I go off to Central Florida. It's just kind of nice. That way I'm not eating at savings or anything. And then I get to live off of that the entire time I'm down there, and then whatever paycheck I get. In this case, unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately, I had a lot. I made a lot of money. How should I put that? Or how else can I put it? And I didn't have a lot of federal income tax taken out of my paychecks. And one of those 3 jobs specifically, I didn't get a lot of federal income tax taken out of. Answers in Genesis was one of the jobs I worked at. Meyer was another one of those jobs I worked at. Then I also worked at my church last year, which I almost forgot about because I considered that a ministry as well. As like, oh yeah, I did do that, didn't I? So out of those 3 jobs, I did not have a lot of federal income tax taken out. So the government's like, where's my money at? So yeah, they're expecting a ton of money without actually saying exactly how much, because that's too much information. And I'm just like, whoo, woo! I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna go to H&R Block tomorrow and find out if this is like legit or not. And hopefully I won't have to dish out any kind of money because I'm gonna be mad otherwise. So I have an appointment at noon tomorrow with them. But my plan is to try to get an extension if a professional can't even find out if I'm just screwing my own self over, I guess is the best way to put it, accidentally. And I also would like to get that extension. So they give you a 6-month extension. That way I have plenty of time to pay it back because I'll easily make that money up over the next several months. It's like, this is not a good time. I'm trying to save up for an apartment. This is not necessary. Like, really? Honestly, considering my financial situation, at this point, I would have liked to bail on my Central Florida vacation, but at this point, I'm kind of screwed too because I already made all these plans. TJ's already taken all this time off. My cousin's already given me tickets. All these people have already made plans for me, so I'm just like, whatever. I don't really have a choice. I would have kind of liked to stay here and worked and try to take off time another time, but here's the other side of the coin. The other reason why I kind of have to go now is because it's a lot harder to get time off from the ARC. Say, for example, during the busy season when I'm actually making a ton of money, because that's when they need you the most versus now they don't really need you. So they would strongly prefer, if it comes down to it, that I go next week while we're still slow. So that's another reason why I'm going. And if you guys, think that this is all I came to talk to you guys about, no. So I mentioned in my description that I'm excited yet nervous about going down next week. Well, why are you nervous? You've never been nervous before, dude. I'm nervous because TJ is engaged to someone that I'm not 100% sure if I want to meet. And without giving away all this personal information, I guess the best way to put it is she and I have had some conversations that have made me kind of about meeting her and maybe even like wonder if I should even stay friends with TJ or not is the best way to put it. Because, and I know I'm getting tongue tied, but anyway, I have been really praying very hard and got a lot going through my mind. And having disabilities, I tend to talk out loud a lot because I have a hard time always thinking up here in my mind. I do this at work a lot too, which is really weird, but yeah, I talk out loud a lot because it helps me be able to process better. If I can hear myself think, then I tend to think better. And honestly, I've been teased and bullied about that for years. And I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. It's part of the fun of having mental disabilities or whatever, is the fact that I don't think as clearly as everybody else does. And honestly, I've gotten to the point where of people labeling me as weird or abnormal. I don't really want anything to do with him, so on and so forth. Or he's nothing special. I heard that one recently. I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. I've told people this many, many times. God did not create me and put me on this earth to please everybody. I'm going to do my absolute best to make you happy. But when I was younger, sorry, I get tongue tied easily. Let me start over. When I was younger, I admit that I had a huge problem with wanting to please everybody. it's the one problem I definitely had when I was younger. I was willing to change who I was just to make everybody happy. And as I got older, I realized how wrong I was to think like that. I was like, why am I even doing that? Because I realized as I got older that people were always going to be like that. People were always going to want you to make them happy. So I finally made a decision a number of years ago, and I know my aunt watches my YouTube channel, and I'm very happy that she does. She'll be very happy to hear me say that I got to a point in my life where I was like, you know what? You can either like me and accept I am who I am, disabilities and all, or you can reject me, mock me, make fun of me, call me stupid and idiotic. Your problem, not mine. I'm still going to love you anyway. That's how I see it. And I know that there are people that would love to hear that. And then there are people that would be like, you're stupid and idiotic for even saying that. And I'm like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I really am. Because I honestly think that at work, the person who said I was nothing special. So get this. I'm not going to say how I know this person, but last Saturday, that person said that. And then that person came and approached me later to just talk to me or something, whatever. And I'll just go with that. And I know that, as I said, I know the person. So I turned around and I said to her, congratulations on turning 18. I know how excited you were about that. Even though I just got insulted behind my back and I was aware of it, I could have been a worldly person, and meaning I could have reacted with anger and wanted to get back at her, which sometimes I have a tendency to do that. I will admit it. I'm a prime candidate for wanting to get back at people. I'm a prime candidate for allowing my anger to get up and rise up inside of me. But instead, I wanted to do the Christian thing and let that roll past me and go, you know what? I'm proud of you for this accomplishment in your life. Whether it meant anything to her or not is beyond me, but that's between her and God. That's how I see it. And you're probably wondering, well, what does this have to do with anything with Central Florida? I know there are people that go on this YouTube channel and they're like, I didn't come here to hear you yap about your personal life. I came here to hear about Central Florida. Well, you are going to hear about Central Florida. I just want to spend a couple of minutes just talking about how I feel like God has really helped me. And this does relate to Central Florida in the sense that there is that one person down there, and that's TJ's fiance, that I'm, a little nervous about meeting just because of the fact that there's something going on with her that I'm not 100% sure about. And I am praying and hoping by meeting her that I'll have a better understanding of what's going on between TJ and his fiance. And maybe, just maybe, I will start to open up more to them. But at this moment, yes, I am very nervous about meeting them. So far, our online conversations have not been that great, which is why I'm nervous. And so far, online conversations have been directed as insults towards me, which is why I was trying to explain how I've been insulted for years and I've been bullied and stuff like that. But God's helped me to overcome it. But honestly, the 20 years I've been bullied has definitely affected me because of the fact that it does make it very challenging for me to always want to be open and accept people. I feel like there's always going to be a bit of rage inside of me now because I'm tired of it and I just want to lash out at people now just because, you get sick of something. But that's why I like to talk about on my, or that's why I talked about in my, how has Skillet impacted my life, how the song, are you sick of it? And then the part where it goes, raise your hands if you're sick, or if you're sick of it, helps me out whenever, I think about bullying. So, yeah, I am nervous about meeting her. I will admit it. But at the same time, it's hard for me at this present time, only have met her online so far, not face to face yet. I'm supposed to meet her face to face in exactly a week at the airport. And from there, I'm basically supposed to go with her to Red Robin, and then I'm supposed to go to Busch Gardens the very next day. Red Robin, for those of you who do not know, is an American restaurant. They're well known for their burgers and bottomless fries. I actually stopped having the bottomless fries about several years ago or so. Maybe a few years ago, I'll go with that. That makes more sense. So they're just period known for their bottomless sides. However, though, they don't advertise that. They advertise bottomless fries. But I found out a few years ago that they that they have bottomless house salads too. So they'll just keep bringing you house salad after house salad after house salad until you're done. No extra charge whatsoever for substitutions on sides. And I usually get one of the cheap burgers because I like to save money. When I was a lot younger, I used to be notorious for getting root beer floats. They also are well known for their bottomless root beer floats. I don't do that as often as I used to. These days, I drink a lot of water. My average is 4 to 5 bottles of water a day. I can't even drink soda anymore. Pop up north, but yeah, I cannot even drink any of that kind of stuff like I used to. And that was how my Aunt Gail something as well. So that's something that we're going to be doing in Central Florida. And you might be asking, why Red Robin? So TJ and I used to go to Red Robin all of the time when I was living in Central Florida. For the 5 years I've known him, at least when we started hanging out a lot together, we used to go to Red Robin almost every single week after Universal. Shows how much I cared about not just my weight, but my finances as well. Shows how immature I used to be because I used to go out and blow money every single week like it was nothing. Versus these days, I actually try to be a lot more considerate. That's why I only go to Central Florida one time a year, and that's it. This year, I am going to make an exception just for those of you who do not know. My good friend, close friend Dell, turns 80 in November, the week after my birthday. I made him a promise, and I made TJ a promise for that matter, that I was going to come down in November for Dell's birthday. Because I think that it's right that I should be there to celebrate Dell's birthday. We're supposed to take him to Whispering Canyon Cafe. However, though, if my friendship of TJ does supposedly end while I'm down there, well, I think Dell should be allowed to decide where we go, but I'm not against going to a Disney restaurant. And I can make reservations whenever he's ready for it, that's for sure. Another thing that I'm doing if TJ, if I haven't really discussed the reason why I have all these like dining plans. I want to kind of go into detail about why we're eating here or eating there. I figured I would spend the last 5 minutes or so talking about that. Tuesday, we're going to eat at a place called Frostbite. So, for those of you who do not know, for one thing, I took TJ and Kay there about 3 years ago for their first time. So, they've been hooked ever since. And for those of you who do not know, I know there's a lot of new subscribers to my YouTube channel all the time. When I was in high school, I was going to a school called Candlelight Christian Academy in downtown Lake Wales, Florida, home of Bok Tower Gardens. Almost everybody in Lake Wales knew each other. Almost everybody in Lake Wales knew where everything in that area was. Oh, when I got to my senior year of high school, my vice principal wanted to take us to a place that he liked. So he drove us about 20 minutes south to a city called Frostproof. Big rural area. And we ate at a place called Frostbite. Burgers, shakes, ice cream, and more, something like that. I fell in love with it. I've taken so many people there. It's insane. And everybody's gotten hooked. I have a thing with food, if you guys don't know that about me. The very next day, we're going to a place called Manny's for dinner. For those of you who do not know, last year I filmed there. I took TJ there for his very first time. I've been trying to get him to go for years, and I finally got him to go. He got hooked. And the reason why I got hooked on that, if you guys haven't seen the video before, I got taken there, or I was taken there for several years, and by my parents. And usually they took my brother with us as well. And I fell in love with it, and I've honestly taken my fair share of friends over the years, and my parents have taken their fair share of friends over the years. So it's another place that I'm going to be going to. Friday, the original plan was to go to Fuddruckers. Unfortunately, Fuddruckers went out of business in Central Florida. They're only in South Florida now, Miami area. I was very heartbroken about it. So, if I remember correctly, we're supposed to go to either Perkins or Wawa or somewhere in Winter Haven. I don't remember exactly what we agreed on. I'll have to go back and look at the messages or talk to TJ again next week. I know actually, if I remember correctly, TJ had asked me, did you check and see if Fuddruckers is still open? I said, no, it officially closed already, like last week, actually. So it's been officially closed as of officially a week. So by next Monday, it'll be exactly 2 weeks that Fuddruckers is closed. That's sad. Saturday, we're going to Golden Corral for dinner. That was another place that TJ and I fell in love with going to over the years. We used to go to the one on West Earl of Bronson Memorial Highway a lot. I don't remember what started that. I just remember we started going there a lot. And our other favorite location is the one in Winter Haven, just because we just period like being in Winter Haven. It's an area I grew up in for 15 years or so. So, like, why wouldn't I want to go there? A lot of people I've noticed in Northern Kentucky, like, when I go to the Ark, everybody knows, like, the whole area. When I talk to them, they usually know everybody in Owen County and Grant County, which is the two counties that border the Ark. So I'm not really surprised. And then, I mentioned Florence. Yeah, I know a couple of people in Florence. Well, this, helps. I don't really know anybody in Grant or Owen County. I mean, other than the people I've met at the Ark, and that's about it. Versus, I know everybody in Boone County and quite a bit of people in Kenton County. So that's basically how I feel right now whenever I go to the Ark. And that's how I felt living in Central Florida. I knew a lot of people in Polk County, but I didn't know a lot of people in Osceola County, where First Baptist of Kissimmee was at, and part of Walt Disney World. And I didn't know anybody in Orange County whatsoever, other than a couple of relatives. And that's where a lot of Walt Disney World is. That's like, I guess the best way to put it at the Ark. That's like me driving all the way out to Orange County to work at Universal, and everybody at Universal knows each other. And or like, oh yeah, we know everybody. Or actually, no, let me do that in reverse. That's like me driving from Orange County or Universal area all the way to Polk County, because that's more way to put it. And everybody in Polk County is like, oh yeah, we know each other. Because that's basically what it's like at the Ark. And I'm like, well, I don't really know anybody except everybody here. It's like at the Ark, we're in Polk County, for example. Of course, everybody would know everybody in Polk County because I grew up in that kind of environment. I'm not even kidding. The Publix I worked at across the street from Legoland, I recognized almost everybody in the store. It was sickening. I'm glad I left in some ways, just because of the fact that I got tired of seeing the same people over and over and over and over. That's not the kind of environment I like to work in. That's kind of why I like working at the Ark, because I get to see somebody new every single day. And I felt that kind of way at Meyer, and they could tell that I was getting a little bummed out, because it's like, oh, great, I'm back at Publix again. Where everybody knows each other, and I almost recognized everybody that was coming in the store after a while. I was like, okay, this is getting old. I don't get to see any regulars whatsoever at the Ark. It's incredible. Like, no wonder I'm happy there. The only people I recognize are the employees. That's just what I'm used to. That's why I liked working at Walt Disney World, because I only recognize the employees. I didn't recognize any of the guests whatsoever. And the only guests that I would recognize were the people from my area. I was okay with that. I would much rather see people I don't recognize on a regular basis than people I see that I recognize on a regular basis. Because one thing that drove me crazy about working at Publix, like, say for example, I was working on a weekday morning, and it's like slower in the molasses. I'm standing there at the register bagging, and the cashier was standing there taking forever with scanning the groceries, and I would have to go a lot slower. And then the manager would come up and get annoyed because it looked like I was barely doing anything. Go outside and go collect carts. And I was just like, because I'm like, I would be able to do something at all the groceries were on my side, but it is what it is. So I had to go outside and go collect carts. And usually there was nothing out there, so I just end up wandering around forever. So that's kind of why I don't really like that kind of environment. It always frustrated me seeing the same person almost every single day that I would recognize, versus working at the Ark, you never know who you're going to meet ever. And I'm just more that kind of person. And I honestly don't mind going to Central Florida and going and seeing old friends that I've known for several years. I don't mind going to a place that I grew up in for years. It's always fun walking down memory lane. Like, you remember this, you remember doing this, you remember doing that, or going down old familiar roads. You remember eating here, like how I was telling you guys about Frostbite. It's like telling you the story behind that, and how it all leads back to high school and all that fun stuff. And it's those kind of things that I enjoy doing once in a while. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't mind going back to Central Florida on the odd occasion and walking down memory lane. That's like my parents going back to Canada and walking down memory lane because they're from there. And I respect that. Like when we were going to Canada, I had the conversations for the most part as muted as possible. But my dad was walking down memory lane. He was like, "Yeah, your mother rode her bike down this bridge, blah blah blah." You know, it's kind of cool to think about that. At the same time, unless you have an actual personal connection to that, it doesn't mean anything. Like, yeah, I could talk to you guys about Frostbite and how I have a personal connection to it, but at the same time, it doesn't really mean anything to you guys. So usually I keep it short and brief. Like when I introduce you guys to a new area, I usually will give a quick introduction of how I knew about this place, but I will do a really good job introducing you guys to the place myself. When I introduced you guys to Frostbite for the very first time, I went back and rewatched the video not too long ago, and I showed everybody the theming of it, the menu. I was like the very first thing I started with because that's always usually one of the very first things that I start with. And then I showed everybody all the different ice creams. I went in full detail. I showed everybody what their food looked like and their ice cream, for that matter, when we got it. And then I gave a review afterwards. That is what people look for when they don't know anything about a restaurant. And that's what I always do when I introduce people to a restaurant, even if it's like a local mom and pop restaurant. Because I'm hoping maybe somebody will be going to Central Florida soon and go, "Hey, you remember that place that the theme park evangelist told us about? We should go check that out." You know, that's kind of what I'm aiming for every time I do something like that. I know I went over 30 minutes, but I just kind of wanted to go into detail about why I have a personal connection to these places, but I also want to go into detail that I do try to go out of my way to make you guys want to go to these places even more. And I don't just talk about a personal connection I have to it. I actually go above and beyond and show you guys why you should go there. I give everybody a firsthand experience. I'm very good at it. It's just a God-given gift is the best way to put it. So another thing that we're going to be doing is let's see here. Sunday we're going to be eating at TJ's place. Monday for lunch we're eating at CC's. So there's a CC's also off of West Earl Bronson Memorial Highway. I always like to tell everybody where we eat at, just in case people want to go check it out for themselves. And we discovered it a number of years ago because all Disney cast members get 50% off at that particular location with Blue ID, and you get a large drink, like large fountain drink to go with it. So it's kind of nice. It's always busy in there, not always the cleanest, and it's very loud and noisy. So two words mean the same thing. However, though, if you want to save some money, if you're a struggling college student trying to work at Walt Disney World, and you have a way to get over there, I would check it out. Or if you're that one family that wants to save some money on eating out and you don't necessarily want to buy food in the park, take your car, if you have one, over to that particular CC's and go save yourself a lot of money, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you put in your body as long as A, it fills you up, B, at least it's not poisonous, and C, as long as everybody is happy afterwards. And I mean, also as an added bonus, as long as it's, remotely satisfying and tastes good, whatever. I usually would rather eat something mediocre and save a lot of money than eat something super good and then end up spending a lot of money. That's how I save a lot of money whenever I go down to Central Florida. Monday night, I am going to make an exception since I don't plan on eating a lot for lunch. I'm going to save a lot of my room for dinner that night and eat at a restaurant called Boma. So my parents took me here a number of years ago. I am planning on introducing everybody to it for the very first time that evening. So I'm not going to go into detail or anything, but I will let you guys know it is at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's on the right side of the very first floor. It's adjacent to G-Code, the cooking place, which just reopened. So if you haven't been to Boma yet, please check it out. It is at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I will be doing a YouTube video of TJ's birthday, which I will also be showing you guys the place for the very first time so that you guys can strongly consider checking it out. Since I've never vlogged at Boma ever, I figured, why not then? Yes, everybody's going to be having to wear a mask. It is what it is, but hey, at least you guys get to go check it out. I figured I would show you guys what options they have on the buffet. I have not been since COVID hit, so I'm kind of curious to see what limited options they have, but at the same time, I would like to at least show you guys what it looks like. Anyways, I do have to use the bathroom again, so I just had a coffee and a chocolate milk back to back, so that would do it. So I will see you guys in the next vlog. I will be vlogging again either later today, but tomorrow for sure. And then I will see you guys next Monday at the airport. And always remember, with a mask on, unfortunately. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.